I had to check a text message from the wife and reset the mic. So hey, good afternoon, Shaggy SoCal, Joel for Forza, and yeah, I was kind of leaning back and forth on whether I needed to do a full track guide for the second race or not, and I decided, yeah, I might as well run a full track guide for it. But yeah, the second race this week is the Brickyard Oval, and so the track guide portion is probably going to be relatively short because it's pretty much foot to the floor. And but I can at least talk about things that I'm looking at, as far as navigating, what I'm looking for as far as navigating the oval, the best line through. And yeah, there's a little bit, even with max downforce on this car, the tires are gonna do create handling issues, depending on the situation. So with that, I'm in the Porsche. I'm at Indy. It's a nice partly cloudy day at noon. 50% fuel, and I think, what tires do I have on this right now? Fuel and tire. Do I have mediums? Yeah, I have mediums on here right now. So let's just go out and run a couple of laps. And it's gonna standing start. Yep, standing start. All right, so let's just go ahead and run a couple of laps here. Plus, I want to at least run enough laps to get an idea of tire wear in the mediums. So, yeah, again, this is pretty much flat out once you get up to speed. Depending on your own, it's kind of like being on the Mulsanne. Fifth gear is probably the best gear to be in on your own. If you're in traffic, if you're drafting, you have sixth gear available to you. I don't know that well, we'll see how strong it is on Thursday, or if we run any practices this week. But I think, we've talked about it at Mulsanne. I think Landwell mentioned it in the chat. I think we kind of figured this out a little bit in some of the shakedown races. It is this car, while the draft is huge, bump drafting isn't necessarily quicker. This is really going to be about the slingshot. Getting a good run off, getting in the draft, slingshotting by, and then if you do get past, as soon as safely possible, there's a little bit of understeer, get back in the draft of the car that just passed you, and hopefully, set up another pass, the following lap. So I don't think the draft is quite as strong as, say, what IndyCar has, at the 500 the last couple of years, but it's going to be pretty decent. Tire grip, yeah, there is, especially the first couple laps until they get up to temp. It's going to take a lap or so for the car not to push on its own. But let's just kind of talk through what I'm looking for. So get fifth gear. Coming down the front straightaway, you're going to cross start finish. You notice on the pit lane on the left side, there is, you know what? Let me just run one more lap and then I'll take a slow lap here. Down across that white line a little bit, bring the car out. Turn in, that might have been a little bit early, but looking for inside there, let it roll back out. Spot the TV crane. As I pass by the TV crane, it's about the turn-in point. Start to roll it in. Get down. I probably turned in a little bit early there. Put a lot of steering in. That's end of 3 laps. Where are we at on tire wear? 12%. Let me run one more and just see where we're at 4 laps. That was late. The car's pushing, just got it back out of it a little bit more steering. Hello. We're not quite, we're almost at 15. So 4 laps, 15, 15, 4 times 4, 16 laps. That's actually in the ballpark. Okay. Yep. Yeah, so it's about, yeah, 16, 15, 16 laps. Okay. So what I'm about to talk, I mean, at least the line I'm going to talk about, this is just kind of like if you're on your own, this is what, at least for me, works. And but yeah, certainly if you're in traffic or like that, there's definitely racecraft things that are going to happen. I haven't really thought about what I'm going to talk about, but coming down to turn one, um, and again, it's classic oval, wide entry to the apex, back out. What I'm looking for is, for me, the point of turn, starting to arc the car in for turn one is the first thing I'm going to try and spot coming down the front straightaway is, certainly you're going to pass start finish, so that's the first clue. But if you notice here on the pit lane wall, there's this temporary there's this temporary section here that's a little bit higher than the rest of the wall. So that's kind of the first thing I'm looking for. The second thing I'm looking for as far as turn in is this gate here. That's and it goes cement to Armco before the safer barrier starts. So this is usually easier to spot as you're coming down the front straightaway. As you're getting to it, you should be starting to turn in for turn one there. It's also right before, it's right about where this course condition light is as well. So that's about what I'm looking for, as far as arcing in for turn one. Okay. So we're not going as fast as we would in the IndyCar, but turning in for turn one, bring the car down. I'm trying to get the car to the inside curving, and you can cross the white line a little bit here, in turn one. Let the car, still full throttle, let the car come back out. I won't go all of the way of the wall. I'll probably go to maybe 2/3 of the way of the wall. Again, it's that balancing act between maintaining momentum, but shortening the distance as much as possible. Because, I don't want to be so far to the inside, to shorten the distance that then the next turn I'm having to put so much steering in to make the corner that I'm scrubbing extra speed. So it's finding that balance between, tire scrub and distance and maintaining momentum. So for me, this is about works here. Again, starting to arc in right about. I don't have a definitive place. This one, again, I do it so much by feel anymore. But, maybe I'm going to keep my eyes peeled, especially as I get into the race. The turn in is probably right before the course condition light there. Again, about halfway through the short chute, you want to start arcing the car in. Now this one, turn two, unlike turn one, the curbing is, because we've got the Grand Prix circuit that merges onto the short chute at this point. The inside curbing for turn two is much later in the corner than, it starts much later in the corner than it does for one. So it's kind of, you kind of use the cones as the guide. Think of that as the virtual, where if there was no infield, Grand Prix circuit, and we were running, old, where when Indy was just the oval, the cones where they're at is kind of maybe where that curbing would start. So again, for the entry, have the car about most of the way up, but then I'm aiming to get the car to the white line where that curbing starts, maybe a little bit before it. Out, going to bring the car out to the wall so that I'm at the wall as I get to this. It looks like that's a course condition light, but it looks more like a speed trap sign digital board. Down the backstretch, heading into three. The first thing that's easiest for me to spot is the TV crane there on the left side that's overhanging. As I pass that, that's kind of my cue to start to arc the car in. Maybe a little bit past that. Same thing. Turn three is kind of like turn one. I can get to the apron here, bring the car up about. Now, what's weird is for me, for the short chute between three and four, I tend to actually let the car come out a little wider than I do in between one and two. I don't know why. That's just something I've tended to do. But what I'm looking for to the setup to turn in for turn four is much like one where you have that Armco gate kind of uh, uh, well, not kind of Armco gate. It's Armco gate. It's a gateway. Um, I'm looking for that as I pass it. To me, that's then the turn in. For three, arc the car in. I think track limits are a little ticky-tack on the exit, so be careful how much you use here, especially when it transitions to this. Very easy to get a track limit violation. The bringing the car out and unwinding the wheel, I'm looking to have the car out by the wall right about kind of like you can see where the outside of turn one for the Grand Prix circuit is. If I have my car parallel to the wall as I cross that, then to me that seems to be the ideal line out. And then it's just foot to the floor. Well, your right foot's going to get very tired because you're going to be holding the gas down for most of the race. So that's IMS. Yeah, again, for tire wear, as far as tire temp, the harder compound, medium, and hards, it's probably going to take most of a lap to get the outside tires up to temp where they're going to grip. So it might be on your out laps or at the start of the race. You may need to back out of the throttle a little bit to let the car, the car will start to walk up the track if you try to hold the throttle. But we'll get in. I think some of that's going to be easier to demo in the mock race, and so let's go ahead and do that. So let me back out of here again for bit rate, race length. I'm going to just pause the stream to kind of reset that so we don't get really bad static at the end. And then let's see what a mock race in this car might look like. Let's go ahead and exit out. We'll exit out all the way and then reset up. So be right back. Actually, I'm out of order. Let me pause the stream first. I should just go to Renault and then no. There we go. So the Porsche. We're gonna go circuit race. Here's where the fun begins. I'm taking a stab in the dark. I think we might be doing 40 laps. I am actually going to, just because I don't know, since I don't know what it's going to be, I'm gonna pick one myself. Time progression rolling, 4x. Weather, let's do partly cloudy. And dynamic track rubber on, 50, all the drive tires. Okay, cars, yep, we're all set there. Club rules, nope, sorry Forza, I want sport rules because I want tire wear. 4x. Standing start random. 1 mandatory pit stop. And let's go ahead and set that up. So tire strategy. I haven't run all 3 compounds yet. But typically, again, before we do that, tell us about IMS. I didn't time that right.
Indy is basically the world's fastest rectangle that you make into an oval by using the full width of the track, so be as smooth as possible when turning.
Yep, that's good advice, especially the smoother you are with the turning and the less scrub you're putting on that right front. Again, you'll get a little bit of tire wear. But tire strategy. I'm looking again. I'm taking a stab in the stab in the dark on race length. So I'm thinking 40 laps, and give or take a few, because we're running like 50 to 52 seconds or so a lap, depending on the tire. But the hard compound tires, you're looking at maybe 19 laps, maybe 20. But certainly if once you hit 60%, they go off a cliff, and you're going to be really pedaling, backing out of the throttle, in 1 and 3. To that end, then the softs are usually half of whatever I can get on the hards, or if I run softs, the hards are twice as much. So if you're looking let's say 19 to 20 laps, you're looking at, 9 to 10. 9 to 10 on the softs, and then the mediums are about 16, 15 to 16 in between. So this one is probably going to be, it's probably going to be a one-stopper. I think just the nature of, since this is entirely flat out and drafting is critical, I do not see any of us trying to do a two-stop strategy. I don't think it'll work. I think it's going to be a one-stopper. It's going to be a lot of drafting, and you're going to want to be in the draft. Let's see how it goes. So to that end, I am actually going to start on the hard compound. The other thing to notice too is if it's a 40-lap race, we're going to have to take on fuel. So this one might be one of those where it's like, since I have to take on fuel anyway, it's probably worth figuring out where that 20-lap mark is and run. So 55% fuel, I'll start with that. That'll at least get me to half distance. We'll see how it goes. I'm always bad at trying to plan fuel strategy. I'd rather just deal with the tires. Let's go ahead and hit done there. And let's go ahead and start race. Starting at sunset. And, oh, good, I'm towards the back. What I want to try and do is I really do want to drop to the back and try to navigate my way through the drivatars. They're going to be a bit squirrely these first couple of laps. Let's see if I move over far enough that they just all go by me. There we go. I'm going to try and hang out in the back for the first lap or so until they string out a bit. And I don't want to be too far back. I need at least a little bit of a draft. Okay, well, maybe I go, all right, there we go. They're going to be a little bit. The other thing is when we ran this, oh wow, when we ran IMS in our shakedown race, we didn't have the proximity radar, so that's really going to come in handy in these battles where we're going to be drafting and have somebody be inside. I find it doesn't give you the full track width. So if we're like 3 wide to 1, I still may not see, if I'm on the outside of it, I still may not see car all the way to the inside depending on how far apart we're spaced. So I think that's still a little bit of a weakness there, but I better get a little more aggressive in traffic or I'm going to lose the draft.
Total time penalty is about 2.5 seconds.
Yeah. And there, wow, look at that checkout. The outside. Part of the compound, like hard compound tires, let me just demo it here. On the hard compound tires and probably even the mediums, even here, there's no way I can, well, here as I say that, yeah, there's no real way of being that far to the inside that I can turn in and make the corner and hold that inside line. The car's going to walk up the track. So if you are going to try and defend to the inside, that's why everybody's checking it, because the AI doesn't know how to go into the pit lane. If you are going to defend to the inside like that and you head into the corner, you're probably going to have to back out of the throttle enough so that the car doesn't walk up the track. And I think that's going to be the challenge for us as far as racing impacts, is to make sure that we're giving each other space, but that we're also not chopping each other off or walking up the track. So it's really just going to be bouncing with the throttle to hold your line through the corner. lift there. But again, the nice thing is the proximity radar is going to make that easier to see. Okay, I've got a little bit of the draft. There we go. Let's try and stuff pass into one. Lift out, roll back in, I'm clear. Oops, that's gonna be biggie. Nope, okay, thank you. Have that little bit of tire scrub. Sure, we're going to be doing the dragon on the straights as well. Of that toe. First I thought Paul was going to be heading to the pits the way he was going. Yeah, bump drafting. And you can see it's really not working. I think part of that is because it registers as a collision. You know, Forza's little, you know, whatever little tricks they've got to help minimize, you know, crashing or crashers from just like bumping in and upsetting the back of the car. I think that's where their little, you know, stability thing comes into play to kind of minimize, you know, say me coming up and bumping someone to get them loose. So the slingshot is going to be the way to go. And out, this is the hard part. I'm out of the draft, so we're just going to be kind of in no man's land for a bit. Fifth gear. I think what I would do for this race is run. I'm going to see if I can get to lap 20 on the hards, and then I'm going to run 2 stints on the softs. Almost hit the wall. Gaining. It's kind of gaining. Bumpy. Well, that was in a little early. And see it, you can hear, I can just pick up, fifth wheel's gearing. It sounds like he's running top gear. Oh, there's the draft. And there's the push. Why I'm not a professional race car driver. I just pretend to be one online. 6, there we go. Not gonna have the draft there, so I'm gonna back off a little bit. Ooh, that's, wow. The hard part is I'm a little, again, it's timing the runs a little too close, coming out of 4 to really take advantage. Whoops, come on. A little too close to coming out of 4, like couldn't really take advantage of the run coming down the front straightaway like I had going up into 3. But yep, and John's following us through. Yeah, it is that grading on that Armco gate on the outside. It's probably a little too late on turn in, but it's what I'm looking at. Looks like a whole bunch of people are pitting. That's a little too wide. Lights would be nice right about now. Thank you. Wow, that's a mega run there. That's what happens when you put too much steering lock in 3. Just the driver's right. It was like full lock. Early there. Now I know, we're going to talk about a little more here in a couple of laps, but Forza's done, to their credit, they've done a decent job kind of correcting pit lanes and some of the tracks to kind of reflect more of what you know real race series and they do in real life. Laguna, they updated the pit lanes, so you just full exit there. Same thing with Daytona. So I think that the next one we're probably gonna complain about is Indy on the oval, because you'll see here, you can already see the wall. They don't want you to use the full pit lane. The merging on the Brickyard Oval, merging back onto the speedway should be as it is, for the Indy 500 on the backstretch out of 2, but they've got a wall there now. Again, it's not like the old days in pre 1993, where when you came out of pit lane for the oval, it's like for the 500s, like you were almost right online in turn 1. Let's go back and look and make sure. I think they still like got back on the racing circuit, in 1, but or at least that they had to use the apron at that point. But yeah, it's another one of those little the pet peeves of like, hey guys, it'd be nice if you'd actually, allow us to use the pit lane as it was intended, as real series use it. And I've been paying attention to my. Okay, yeah, we're still above. We haven't hit 60% yet, so we're still kind of in that window where, yeah, we'll probably hit 60%. Either before the end of lap 19 or on lap 20, and then we'll pit there. I thought I'd have a little more traffic to play with, but what? Yeah, so we'll pit on lap 20. Though in theory, let's see. The mediums are only going to go. The mediums are only going to go 16 laps or so, 15 to 16 laps. So let's just see. I'm going to try and do a one-stopper, and I'm going to just see if we can get the lap. If I can get to lap 25, then I think I should be able to run the mediums to the end. Oh wait, I'm out of fuel. Oh wait, way high. Okay, I'm going to run one more lap and then pit. Again, this is poor planning on my part, because I wasn't sure exactly what I was going to do on tire strategy. I only put 20 laps of fuel in. This is why I should just fill it full of fuel and be done with it. All right. All right, so pit lane entry. Is when you make the turn in, turn 4, and you get it to the apron, just correct the throttle a little bit and keep it there. Keep it shallow out, and just straight in. Easy pit lane. All right, so you know what? We're gonna live dangerously. We'll do the recommended. That's fine. It's more than I need, but So what I'm actually going to try and do is I'm going to try and run 20 laps on the mediums and actually just see how far they go. So here's where Indy's pit lane exit is stupid. Because in my own practice, I went to do what I would expect to do, which is rejoin out of turn 2, but you have to rejoin out in the short chute. So once you get in the short chute, merge it back over, and then just keep it to the inside. I think should be able to hold it to the floor, even on the hards if you run on the hards out of the pits. And then just be mindful if there's someone, on the racing line, just leave room to the outside. So let's see. Oh yeah, there's Grit. Someone look at inside. I left. There was a car with down there. It's like Drivatars, taking the bonsai move. It's almost like it's the Max Verstappen line, into one. So I was there. I was to the inside. It's not how it works. It would work on the oval. Let's see if I can catch up to 3.1 back. So here's the hard part: is the 3 cars in front of me. If they're for position, they're all within drafting range of each other. Oops. No penalty, no penalty. They're all within drafting range, so they're going to get that little bit of extra pace down the straightaway. My only hope is that they're close enough together that they slow each other up in the corners. That's the only way I think I would be able to catch them. And let's see. Looks like John had to back out of it, which I also have to back out of it. He's going to have a little more top end. So he's going to go to the outside. I'm still kind of here. He's going to leave me space, but I got to back out. I have to back it, even on the mediums. I've got to back out of the throttle. If I had tried to hold it the full throttle there, I would have just gone right up into it. And that's not fun racing. He's gonna have the mega run here. And I'm gonna let him by, and then I'm gonna watch him go wide. Crossover. A bit of a confidence lift there. Again, I was shallow enough turning in that I just wanted to do a little bit of a lift so that I could get the car through the corner. Okay. Almost in drafting range of Paul. Hopefully out of 4 I can get a good run on it. There we go. Gotta get a mega run. Out. kind of back in that no man's land. How far at the line? See if I'm making any time up on my own. Not making up any time. Looks like we are hitting some lap traffic. Maybe that will play into my favor. Too bad, you know, they can't. I don't know about when the last time IMSA, and I think IMSA's run endurance events at Indy's road course. I think it's gone into the night, but it's kind of, I don't know if Indy's lighting, if they have enough lighting currently, but it's like, this is kind of nice, kind of nice looking to have the lights out for a night race. I'm not saying run the Indy 500 at night necessarily, but it's kind of cool. Just kind of the way, here how everything's kind of lit up with the pagoda, the scoring pylon. I have made up a little bit of time. The other thing too is I am rapidly approaching 42% on the right front. Last 5 laps are going to be a little challenging. Nice draft. Definitely ruling in second place. I'm running out of laps. draft off of Stewie here. Not much, but looks like you need to have like 3 or 4 car lengths gap coming onto the straights to then really make the draft work. Big gaggle of cars. We're over 50%, 55. Okay. So yeah, we'll get to the last 4 laps are going to be just managing the car into the corners. So I'm not going to have any grip on that right front, and I've got no tools to rebalance the car. Four. I think it's really, well, we'll see how the tire wear is. But I really think it's just 1 and 3 are going to be problematic once you get over that 60%. You might have to, do a little confidence lift getting the car into the corner. There's 60%. Come on. Yeah, I was surprised that I had grip in 1, but then it was like I either missed time 2 or it's just cracking the throttle a little bit. White in the draft range there. 10-4. Yeah, now I'm starting to suffer. Oh, I don't know. Whose idea was it to try and stay out for 20 laps on the mediums? Big lift going into 1. Feather, feather, feather. Once the tires start going, especially here, it's a compounding issue because, you have to lift to get the car in, but then you're afraid to really turn the wheel more because it's going to put more scrub and more wear on the tire. I know severe tire wear. You don't have to remind me. 75%. We can get through 1 more lap. Let's see if we can get in under 80.
Final lap.
Getting close. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Right on the nose. So is it possible to do 20 laps on the mediums? Yes, but those last 4 laps in that stint are sketchy. So that's Indy. I was hoping to have a little more drafting, you know, practice in traffic, but sometimes the AI works with you, sometimes they don't. But at 35, yeah, it looks like about a 40 lap race. So with that, I'm gonna call it a night. I'm gonna go get some pizza. So hope you guys are having a good weekend and happy racing. Yeah, that's what I normally say. Before I do that, I'm on the podium. I got to see myself on the podium. Menteo Max. And Pretty Goose. All right. Hope you guys have a good weekend. We'll see you on Thursday. Happy racing.